Well, hello. Gosh, where are we now? It's Tuesday, it's the 18th of January. I was going to say February then, it's definitely not February. 18th of January, 19th of January. Oh, God, I don't know where I am. And yeah, it's going to be a bit of a different lesson today. For those of you who know me and might be friends with me, you might have seen me post a memory 21 years ago today. I lost my dad, and it's something that I still feel. I was quite a daddy's girl when I was a youngster, and he was a very important part of my life, actually, very important part of my life. And I, sorry, I'm just opening the chat here. Good morning, Carrie. Morning from Minnesota. Yeah, so very poignant day for me. And it comes after having had to take my husband to hospital last night for a recurring hemorrhage. Morning, Carol. Lovely to see you too. So it's a poignant day for all sorts of reasons. Plus, I'm really tired, really tired. But here's what I wanted to share in the lessons from a lurker today. And seeing those memories of my dad, and the photo I shared is one that my sister took actually, which is a lovely photo of him coming down a kind of a helter-skelter slide, you know, the kids ones where you sit on a mat and kind of come down the candy floss type helter-skelter, and clearly having a lot of fun. And I remember my dad as being a lot of fun, and he was a fabulous storyteller. And as a result, I loved listening to his stories about when he was a child growing up, just kind of pre and into the wartime, when he was a young man, certainly. And, you know, how they were quite a large family of children, so they'd all have to do their bit in order to forage or hunt for food in order to feed the big family. I loved his stories. He was a teacher, he was an engineer, he was a mechanic, he was a craftsman, a real craftsman. And I think that's partly where I get my passion of craft from. But what it occurred to me was that those memories I have of his stories are so precious. And it suddenly occurred to me that if we're lurking, not sharing our stories, not sharing with the extended family or friends or loved ones or our own immediate family, our own stories of what lights us up, of what was easy when we were growing up, of what was hard when we were growing up, of what was fun, the pranks we got up to, the shenanigans we got up to, then the next generations won't ever have those memories to share. So I thought it was just a real important reminder to say, I know we tend to hold back and not contribute as much and not share as much, but how important is it to share even the bittersweet memories? And I just wondered what people will miss out on if we don't share those things. Some of the challenges we had as introverts. I've got some amazing stories that I could share about the challenges I had as an introvert. And some of them make my toes curl now. You know, they're not comfortable, but it feels like part of my history. It feels like part of the legacy that I might leave behind, to tell those stories, to be able to help other people understand that they're not on their own in this, that there's nothing wrong with them, they're not broken, they don't need fixing. We've talked about that before. But that actually we can still be fully functional, engaging, productive, amazing people. And that being an introvert doesn't stop any of that. But I think we have a duty to share that stuff with those who are coming behind us, be they our own family, extended family, friends, as I've already mentioned. So I just wanted today to, on this poignant day, to be a nudge to all of us to get out of our own way and to share our stories, in a powerful way, to share our stories of the things that made us happy, sad, excited, things that led to change, things that led to growth, things that led to awareness, things that led to realization. And so that when those people are in my position looking back at the life of someone they loved and lost, that they'll also have some amazing memories, some amazing stories. So my call to action, my plea to you all, to us all, let's share our stories. Let's share them in a way that's engaging, that's captivating, that's interesting, that shares our warts and all, but not from a victim position. Seems to be a recurring pattern now. I had another bit of a run-in with somebody on Facebook who was in full-out victim mode about their introversion. That doesn't get us anywhere. So when you're sharing stories, it's not from victimhood, but from conqueror, from warrior, from warrioress, from that position of, yeah, it happened, but it hasn't held me back. It hasn't defined who I am. Yeah, I'm just going to share this. Somebody's posted a really important question. What if the story deeply saddened, and when you talk about it, hurts so deep? I get that. I absolutely get that. And sharing some of my story saddens me, but I can't change the past. Yes, it hurts deep. I can live in the now and I can influence and change the future. I can't change the past. We talked about this, I think, last week on the live. So I would feel into the sadness, but know that I don't need to carry on carrying that sadness with me. What I would choose to do in that situation is to feel into that sadness almost as an external observer and kind of observe it as well and say, what can I learn from that? Because all the while I'm feeling that sadness still, I'm carrying it with me. That sadness is still controlling me. So that sadness is something that's ruling my life still. And when I choose to see what I can learn from it, when I choose to see what I can take from it, how I can grow from it, then it ceases to be something that is, I'm not in its grip anymore. I am free from it. And I've learned from it. And I've taken something positive from it. Because as a lifelong learner and somebody, as you know, is a big fan of positive psychology, there is always a lesson to be learned. There is always something here. So thank you for asking that question about if it deeply saddens you, because there are things for me that are that way too. But as soon as you create a story that, yes, touches on the sadness, but on what's come from that in terms of your own growth, your own development, your own betterment, your own flourishing as a human, then it helps make sense of that sadness. I didn't know I was going to share this, but I will. I once did a Healing Past Lives workshop with Dr. Brenda Davis in Cortijo Romero in Spain. It was amazing. And one of the things I really learnt from her, and I've taken with me, is it's not easy to take on board, but you know what has helped me so much is that it takes someone very special to come back and teach you a tough life, a tough lesson in life. And just that one concept has helped me in terms of healing and forgiveness. And as Carrie has said, you know, rather than dragging in fact, I'll post that up, Carrie, because that's so powerful. Instead of dragging the sadness with us every day, It's giving us power in the moment and power for the future. And I absolutely agree with that. So whatever the sadness is, it's your choice either to carry it with you and keep being in that, or choosing to move on from it, to learn what you can learn, to enable it to empower you. So yeah, I'm just going to pop this one up. Getting out of the sadness can be painful. Yes, it can. Once it's out and acknowledged, it stands a better chance of disappearing. Absolutely, it does. And if we don't know who to share stories with, stories like that, share them in the safety of Introvert's Corner, because I'm really careful in there about who I let in, but also how we look after each other there. So share the stories there. Let's be a support to each other there. Let's make sure that what we can do is really enable each other to let go of the weight of sadness, the burden of sadness that we're carrying with us, and find the growth, the lesson, the joy even. I'm so sad that I don't have my dad with me anymore. As I say, it was 21 years ago today. But there are so many lovely memories, and they're the ones, his stories, they're the ones that I hang on to. Not the sadness of losing him, but the joy of his life. So let's share our stories. Let's do that. Thanks.